Is this a return to Nike's roots?
No question. I think every company has a core of what makes them great, and I think sport is the core of what we are about. We're about human potential and performance. Nike's back.
Imagine this. A rookie quarterback steps into the N.F.L. and instantly turns the entire sports world upside down. Within hours, his debut triggers a sales surge so insane it crashes Nike's servers, wipes out entire warehouses, and leaves stunned executives scrambling for answers. This isn't your usual athlete collab. This is a cultural earthquake, the kind we haven't felt since Michael Jordan changed the game forever. And the name behind this chaos? Shedeur Sanders.
The event tomorrow going on for the community, for the kids, be able to go out there, throw the football, connect with them. We have a lot of fun things supposed to be there. We're doing it for the people. We're not gaining anything out of it. It's all coming out, my own pockets for real. So it's like, I don't gain, anything. It's more about connecting with the kids and everything like that. That's what brings me happiness. That's what brings me joy. So.
The morning after Shedeur's logo dropped, Nike's Beaverton headquarters looked like a scene out of a financial disaster movie. Panic calls, flashing dashboards, and executives rushing into emergency meetings, all trying to figure out how a rookie just broke their entire system. What they saw on the screens didn't look real. Sales projections that were supposed to build up slowly throughout the day. Obliterated in less than an hour. Orders poured in at lightning speed. Nike's site crashed not once, not twice, but 3 separate times as desperate fans kept refreshing, just hoping to grab a hoodie or jersey before they were gone. By the time West Coast stores even opened their doors, everything was already sold out. Warehouses were empty, inventory software glitched out, and managers inside Nike HQ were staring at graphs that looked more like rocket launches than sales charts. It got so wild that Phil Knight himself, the legendary founder of Nike, reportedly picked up the phone demanding answers. The supply chain had literally collapsed under the weight of a single athlete's name. This wasn't just hype. It was mayhem, history, and chaos all rolled into one moment. And it was happening in real time. But the craziest part? The shockwave wasn't even coming from where everyone thought. Nike's analysts dove into the data expecting to see hardcore football fans driving the numbers. But that wasn't the case at all. The usual audience, middle-aged men, loyal to the game, had been completely outnumbered. Nearly half the buyers came from a totally different crowd, women and Gen Z. A whole generation that barely pays attention to NFL merch was suddenly flooding Nike's site like it was a fashion drop, not a football one. And that wasn't even the end of it. The global orders blew minds even more. Europe, Asia, Latin America, regions that had never cared about the Browns or Colorado football, were lighting up with demand. Fans thousands of miles away were suddenly rocking Shedeur's logo like it was a luxury brand. Shedeur Sanders didn't just sell jerseys, he turned NFL gear into a worldwide fashion movement. This wasn't sports merch anymore. It was lifestyle, identity, and pure cultural fire wrapped inside one sleek new logo. Nike had spent years trying to pull off this kind of crossover magic, constantly chasing Adidas, Puma, and Under Armour in the global race for relevance. But somehow, Shedeur Sanders cracked the code on his very first drop. Inside the industry, everyone was asking the same question: how? Once Nike realized this wasn't a sales spike, but a full-blown tidal wave, chaos exploded behind the scenes. Entire production lines in Vietnam were reportedly reallocated overnight, stealing resources from other top athletes just to keep up with Shedeur's demand. Regional managers were told to clear shelves immediately, even ripping down long-standing superstar displays to make space for the Sanders logo. Flagship stores in New York and LA transformed within hours. Massive window setups, dedicated Sanders zones, and touchscreen kiosks where fans could customize gear. Retail staff were retrained on the spot, told to sell the Shedeur story like it was gospel. Moves like this usually take months for a company the size of Nike, but they were executing in days, sometimes hours. The supply chain was stretched thin, but the message was loud. Sanders was no longer just another Nike athlete. He was the priority. And as Nike tore up its own playbook, the ripple effects hit the whole industry hard. At Adidas HQ, execs reportedly held an emergency meeting to figure out how they missed out on signing him. Over at Under Armour, panic mode kicked in. They started rushing to secure the next big rookie before Nike swallowed the market whole. Even brands like New Balance and Puma, usually cool carving out small niches, began rethinking their entire US strategy. The sports apparel war had always been a slow grind until Shedeur Sanders turned it into an all-out race overnight. Overnight, Shedeur Sanders handed Nike something no rival could ignore: total domination. Inside boardrooms across the industry, panic was setting in. The conversations weren't just about sneakers or jerseys anymore. They were about survival. How did Nike see Shedeur's star power so clearly while every other brand looked the other way? And worse, could anyone even catch up now? If one rookie quarterback could trigger a global fashion riot, the old rules of the game were dead. But where it really got wild was the money. When Shedeur first signed with Nike, insiders say the deal wasn't built to make him rich overnight. It was full of performance bonuses, royalties, and even whispers of future equity. Basically, if he proved himself, he'd cash in. If not, Nike stayed safe. But then came the logo drop, and everything exploded. Within days, the numbers were so massive that the original deal didn't even make sense anymore. Sales projections weren't just beaten, they were obliterated. Analysts claim Sanders pulled in more money in 72 hours than some superstar veterans make in entire quarters. That's when the power shifted, fast. Sources say Sanders' team is now pushing for one of the boldest rookie endorsement renegotiations ever. They're talking higher royalties, guaranteed payouts, and a long-term setup that locks in real security for years. For Nike, it's not a debate, it's a necessity. They can't afford to lose what Shedeur represents: cultural capital, the kind of influence you can't manufacture with money. If these talks go how insiders expect, this could redefine athlete endorsements forever. Gone are the days when rookies had to wait their turn. From now on, brands will have to bet big early because the next Shedeur Sanders won't come cheap. But the real magic wasn't just in the contract or even the cash. It was in the symbol, that logo. It became more than just Shedeur's name. It became a movement, a visual stamp of swagger, belief, and identity for an entire generation. The logo, that sleek, interlocking SS, crowned with subtle nods to his father's primetime legacy, looked clean and effortless, but the process behind it was anything but. Insiders say Nike's design team went through 17 different versions before Shedeur finally gave the green light. And once it dropped, the effect was instant. Social media exploded. The design stopped being just a football emblem and turned into a lifestyle statement overnight. Fashion influencers started rocking Shedeur's gear with high-end streetwear fits. Musicians wore it in videos. Celebrities flexed it on Instagram. Not as sports merch, but as if they were repping a luxury fashion brand. Young fans didn't just see an athlete's initials, they saw ambition, confidence, and style all in one logo. That crown wasn't just a nod to Deion Sanders, it became a symbol for a generation that refuses to settle. In record time, the SS transformed from a product into a badge of identity. And here's the wild part. None of it came from traditional marketing. Shedeur wasn't out doing the same old PR tours or rehearsed interviews like most rookies. Instead, he built his empire through raw authenticity. Instagram stories, unfiltered tweets, behind-the-scenes clips, that's how he connected with people. Fans weren't being sold a brand, they were living it with him. People close to him say Shedeur runs his image like a CEO runs a Fortune 500 company. He knows exactly when to post, what content will go viral, and how to talk so it never feels fake. Every move is calculated, but it still feels real. Even Nike caught on to this early. When they met with him, they weren't focused on touchdowns or passing yards. They were studying his influence. They saw a player who didn't need a marketing team to sell him. He was the marketing team. When Nike sat down with Shedeur, the talk wasn't about touchdowns. It was about lifestyle, vision, and cultural impact. They weren't just signing a quarterback. They were investing in a cultural architect, someone who could bridge generations and connect with fans on levels few athletes ever touch. But raw authenticity can only take you so far. To cement the movement, Nike needed to amplify it beyond screens and into the streets. The online buzz was already out of control, but Nike knew that kind of energy had to spill into real life. So they moved fast, transforming their Manhattan stores into full-blown Shedeur showcases. Overnight, window displays turned into towering murals of Sanders rocking his own gear. Exclusive sections launched with limited edition colorways and pop-up kiosks where fans could customize their own merch. Store managers said shoppers weren't just grabbing one hoodie. Some were walking out with entire collections, dropping thousands like it was nothing. Meanwhile, the digital chaos only got louder. Nike's app downloads spiked over 400%. Their website traffic blew past Black Friday records, and hashtags tied to Shedeur's logo outpaced entire sporting events, even political debates. Analysts were speechless. Metrics normally reserved for Super Bowl ads were now being shattered by a single rookie's drop. Then came the wildest twist. The resale market went nuclear. Sites like StockX were flooded with Sanders gear flipping at markups that rivaled Supreme collabs and limited Jordan drops. Some items skyrocketed in value so fast they were being compared to crypto investments. Collectors weren't just buying, they were investing in Shedeur's name like it was a new digital asset. At that point, everyone understood. This wasn't just a product launch, it was a movement. A fusion of sports, streetwear, and global culture like nothing the league had seen before. But with that level of fame came the pressure. Every throw, every post, every moment was now under a microscope. Shedeur wasn't just carrying a team, he was carrying a brand. One bad game, one off-field slip, and critics would be ready to question whether the empire was built on solid ground or pure hype. And the spotlight doesn't fade when the clock hits zero. Every tweet, every story, every appearance is dissected for authenticity and consistency. Nike and Shedeur have built something massive together, but keeping it real while the whole world's watching, that's the real test now. In today's world, where social media can flip a story in seconds, the margin for error is razor thin. Traditionalists are already grumbling, claiming that all this focus on merch sales overshadows what truly matters: championships. Others question if this is real evolution or just a viral moment dressed up as revolution. Behind closed doors, rival execs whisper warnings. They've seen hot rookies rise fast and crash even faster. They mention injuries, slumps, scandals, the usual pitfalls that turn hype into regret. But insiders close to Shedeur say this time's different. They describe him as laser-focused and way more mature than his age suggests, with a vision that stretches way beyond highlight reels or headlines. While others chase clout, Shedeur's building a legacy. His team believes he's not just another viral athlete, he's laying the foundation for the next generation of athlete entrepreneurs. Still, even with his sharp mindset, one truth stands out. Shedeur and Nike aren't building for a season. They're building an empire. And that empire? It's already breaking borders. If the US launch was a cultural earthquake, what's happening overseas feels like the aftershocks of a global shift. Nike didn't keep Shedeur's brand trapped in American football, they went international from day one. In London and Paris, Nike rolled out pop-ups that treated his gear like high-end fashion. Lines of young fans, many who didn't know a single N.F.L. stat, waited just to wear that SS logo, because to them, it stood for ambition and style. In Tokyo, Nike tested digital drops that mixed augmented reality try-ons with exclusive app releases, turning Shedeur's brand into a tech fashion fusion that Japan ate up instantly. Meanwhile, in Brazil and Mexico, demand exploded so fast, distributors begged Nike for more stock. Whole shipments were selling out within days. Shedeur Sanders isn't just rewriting the playbook, he's building a global identity. This isn't about selling jerseys anymore, it's about building a lifestyle empire. Behind the scenes, insiders say Nike's already mapping out massive cross-industry moves, fashion collabs with elite designers, tech ventures that merge style with innovation, and even early talks of Shedeur-branded entertainment projects and restaurant concepts. The mission isn't just to make him the face of sportswear, it's to crown him the centerpiece of a global, multi-vertical empire that blends culture, commerce, and community. Wall Street's already catching on. Analysts are raising Nike's stock targets, calling Shedeur a once-in-a-generation business catalyst. Business schools are drafting case studies, and sports marketing conferences are literally naming panels after the Shedeur effect. Sure, critics still wonder if the hype can last, but for Nike and Sanders, this isn't hype, it's infrastructure. This is the future being built in real time, And the question now isn't whether Shedeur will change the game. It's whether anyone else can keep up with the standard he's already set. What started as one rookie's logo drop has now rewritten the entire playbook of sports marketing. Servers crashed, factories restructured, competitors panicked, and a whole generation united behind a symbol that means more than football. Shedeur Sanders didn't just sell gear. He sold identity, ambition, and belonging. For Nike, it's proof they still know how to own the culture when it matters most. And for Shedeur, it's the beginning of something way bigger than the field. The rise of a new kind of athlete, one powered by authenticity, influence, and global reach. Together, they've shown the world that the next era of athlete endorsements isn't just about what happens on Sundays. It's about shaping culture every single day. The impact is already global, and the aftershocks are just starting to hit. Every major brand out there is scrambling to find its own version of Shedeur Sanders, hoping to capture even a fraction of the magic he unleashed. Athletes everywhere are now rethinking what it truly means to build a brand, realizing it's no longer just about stats or trophies. It's about owning your image, your story, and your power. And for the fans, everyone who copped that gear or joined the movement is now part of a cultural wave bigger than football itself. The only question that remains, will Shedeur follow in the footsteps of icons like Michael Jordan and build a billion-dollar dynasty, or will he blaze his own trail and create a new playbook no one's ever seen before? Either way, one thing's clear. The rules have already changed. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. See you on the next one.